One. What's up, Tricology family? Welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. And today, all WWE, AEW, and all wrestling fans around the world, as today it is Wrestlemania Day. So not only is WrestleMania going to be one night, it's going to be too big for just one night. So it's going to be tonight and tomorrow night. And we also going to talk about the AEW TNT Championship. Now, before we go on to these topics, let me welcome back fellow filmmaker, dancer, and who also is a script supervisor and fellow wrestling fan himself. Please, everyone, please welcome back DONAZE Keys. Welcome back to the show.
What's up, bro? It's been a crazy week. And even catching up on everything last night, I'm like, kind of obvious, but very much we knew that. And I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Awesome. So, no further ado, let's get straight into it. So, AEW just announced their mid-card title, which is called the TNT Championship. Now, back in the day in WCW, when they had their title, they used to call it like the TV or the television title. So it kind of makes sense that that AEW they have been broadcasting their shows on TNT. So it's kind of made sense of about their title. So let's go over the brackets because they just announced Wednesday the eight participants in the 8-man tournament. So we have in the first rounds we have Shawn Spears against Cody, Sammy Guevara against Darby Allin, Kip Sabian versus Dustin Rhodes, and Lance Archer against Colt Cabana. Now, if I had to break it down of who's going to win and who's going to make it to the finals, so I would have to say it would be Cody versus Lance Archer in the finals, and then Cody wins the title. Now, the question is that the finals is supposed to take place at the next pay-per-view for AEW Double or Nothing, which is in May, and it's supposed to take place in Las Vegas. But due to the coronavirus panic attack, we don't know if that's still going to take place on that day and even at Las Vegas. So that's still to be determined. So, DONAZE, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win the tournament, and how you think the finals will culminate at?
Okay, so this is going to be an overarching theme with what I say throughout the entire podcast of Shawn Spears, Dustin, Colt for this also. There's a match, but because of the COVID, we don't know, especially with May, what's going to happen because nothing is really etched in stone till like the end of the virus, so probably around late summer, so July and August. But they're thinking June, July, but to reset it would be like June to August. So with Double or Nothing being right at the end of May, slated, and the entire city of Las Vegas would have to be reignited for them to do like an entire week of events there, it's a long shot.
Yeah, most definitely. And who else? Who you think seeing winning the tournament and winning the TNT Championship?
Honestly, I see with this match you have, and they touched on it on Wednesday's Dynamite. Shawn Spears not the best record. Kip Sabian starting to rise up, still in the feud in the undercard. Colt Cabana, his second, I want to say, singles match is against Lance Archer. They're building Lance Archer. And then Dustin is more in the tag scene. Sammy and Darby, thank goodness that's in the first round, but that kind of legit tells me they're aiming for the match they've been hyping, Archer versus Cody. And I don't know, honestly. I want to say Archer, but you could easily use the TNT title, which I'm just going to call it a television title for the rest of this talk, because really is a TV title. They're just using the network they're on for namesake, even though TBS got jealous. But I could see Cody winning it and using it to build up the rest of the roster with high caliber matches. Look at what his match with Darby did for him last year. I do see the rest of them getting built to that level, but Archer, I could see winning and him having a star-making performance and a star-making W.
All right. I would have to agree with that. So, well, other than that, we just got to see what they're gonna do moving forward with the tournament, because the tournament is supposed to start. I think they said next week.
Yeah, it's next week. However, and this the one thing WWE does have over AEW. WWE pre-taped, I believe, every show in Florida all the way up until the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT after Mania. Yeah. So basically everything up until next week before they got pulled. And then AEW, I don't know if it's been slated or anything other than the fact they reshot the teleportation of Matt Hardy.
Yeah, but other than that, let's move forward to the predictions of the WrestleMania 36 card. Now, we still don't know what's going to be taking place for tonight and what's going to be taking place for tomorrow. But
I was about to say, you trying to get somebody fired?
Yeah, we still don't know yet. yeah, nothing's been announced yet. But we'll find out tonight what match is going to take place for tonight and what's going to be taking place for tomorrow. But they give us like a couple of hints saying like, oh, the world title matches, that's going to be separated. The offset location matches, that's going to be separated and all that other stuff. They gave us a few hints, but we're just going to have to see what match is going to be going on tonight. But other than that, let's go through the list of matches and predictions. So let's start off with Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, this match, that I don't know if you saw last Friday. It was
last night. Oh my gosh!
It was kind of interesting. Like, we I knew this was gonna happen. Like something like there's got to be something to happen. Like like Dolph Ziggler got in the way of Otis and Mandy Rose's date, and now we find out Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler was in there all the time to try to screw Otis over and making that he was the bad guy. I'm not showing up to the date and all that stuff. But now, after showing that on Friday, now we definitely know who's gonna win that match. So it's Otis going to be picking up the victory, and he finally gets the girl of his dreams that he wants, Mandy Rose. And then moving forward after that, I can see the rivalry between heavy machinery and Mandy Rose against Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and Sonya Deville. That's how I see this going.
I somewhat agree with you, and I'm like, if you would have taken last night out of context and that would not have happened and they dropped the bombshell that we've kind of expected, I would have went with Dolph Ziggler just because of the Mandy Road. I thought they were going to keep Mandy for the longest and have her almost go edging Christian and Jericho on him. But with last night in context of the whole Sami Callihan-esque reveal, and for those Impact fans, you know where I'm going with the whole ICU gimmick. I'm going Otis by a hair. Now, the whole Mandy coming back into Otis's arm, Macho and Miss Elizabeth style, I don't know.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see go forward with that. But other than that, moving on to the next one, we have Alistair Black going one-on-one for the first time against Bobby Lashley. Now, everyone...
One of the multiple matches infected by the coronavirus.
Yeah, so we don't know if that match was recorded because we was reported that Bobby Lashley was in quarantine somewhere in South Africa somewhere because he did a road trip, and now he's quarantined somewhere, but we don't know if his match got taken place. But other than that, right off the bat, I see Alistair Black winning because he's been on the road quite a late ever since winning his match against AJ Styles in the no DQ match at the Elimination Chamber. So I don't see Alistair Black losing this match.
Which is a doggone shame because Bobby has actually been in, granted they've sucked, but more storyline based elements with the whole Lana Rusev and Liv Morgan situation. He's been in more storylines, and honestly, down the line in my list, I have them both, and we'll get to this near the end. I had the winner of this match, depending on how they set things up going into really their makeshift and makeup for Money in the Bank in July. The winner of this could easily either be in contention for the briefcase or be in contention for the WWE title.
The way I see this is that Alistair Black, maybe after winning this match, I think he might be the top contender going for the United States title and really relive his.
Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that one. Don't worry.
His rivalry with Andrade, like it did in the NXT days.
I will get to that one. Don't worry on that because that title is make two divisions on Raw a joke.
Yeah. So other than that, moving forward, we have Elias versus King Corbin. Now, I have to say this. This is a must-win for Elias because the last two WrestleManias that he was in, he gets buried by John Cena. So this is he needs a WrestleMania moment for himself. Now King Corbin, he already had like good WrestleMania, like he won the Andre the Battle Royal in his debut match at WrestleMania 32.
He retired Angle.
Yeah, he retired Kurt Angle. So so I feel like Elias is gonna win this match. Honestly, because he needs a WrestleMania moment.
My thought is yes for Elias, but the fact they went with that whole Lion King segment, I think it was last week, of Corbin chucking Elias off the same scaffolding that Ciampa and Gargano, and I'll get to NXT and where those starts are also in a bit, and where I think those divisions are going. But my overall pick for this match, Elias, and that's it.
Yeah. Other than that, moving forward, we have Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins. Now,
so we're going all the non-title matches first. Okay.
Yeah, I just going off the list that I had when it was announced and all this stuff. So Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Now, I think this match should have been a no DQ match, but it's going to be a regular match. So, but either way, I see Kevin Owens winning this match because Seth Rollins after WrestleMania is going to be taking a break, and then afterwards, Kevin Owens that maybe going after either Money in the Bank or the WWE title, being a contender for the WWE Championship after this match.
Would KO have taken that? I mean, Seth would have taken that break just because of the coronavirus, or because of Becky's left hand?
No, because of Becky, yeah. I think him and Becky are gonna be taking a break, but we'll get to Becky's match. Why she gonna be taking a break as well? But yeah, that's how I feel. Because if Seth Rollins didn't take a break, then he probably would have may win this match and be going on to be a good contender for the WWE title as well. But I see Kevin Owens win this match because I think most likely some of us will be taking a break after this match.
Well, I was thinking because that curb stomp on Monday, and the way they've built this feud is for KO to finally get that WrestleMania moment again. Nah, he's had a couple, but I think this will be his highest profile feud and moment.
Yeah, the only great WrestleMania that Kevin Owens had is when he defeated Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 33 for his title.
And he got chewed out backstage reportedly by Vince. So, yeah, I would not even call that. So I think KO gets his moment and then goes into the U.S. title picture for right now. And I'll get to why I don't say world title picture in probably a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And I am waiting for the Raw tag title so I could just chew out that entire scene and where that division's going, as well as some of the rest of these matches. And then I'm also waiting for the Edge and Randy predictions, and I'll chew out where I think the world title, WWE title situation's going.
Speaking of the Raw Tag Team titles, other than that, we see the Street Profits against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. So right out the back, I see the Street Profits retaining their titles because they just won the titles like a month ago, and I don't see them losing the titles anytime soon. But I think the Austin Angel Garza and Austin Theory might pull out a really good match against the Street Profits. So that might be their way of trying to get them into the active. I don't know if Angel Garza is a part of the main roster or still like part of the NXT, but I know Austin Theory is still an NXT superstar. But yeah, I think this match may get them a spot in the main roster in the Raw brand as far as making a debut, as far as transitioning from NXT to the main roster.
Okay, so this match is one of those matches in recent memory that are viewed as a joke. And let me explain why. Austin Theory only got in there because Andrade got hurt. Andrade has been the U.S. champion since, I believe, the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
And why has he basically pulled a no title defense after getting suspended? He has not defended the U.S. title, and then he gets hurt. And that was over 2 months ago. WWE's policy on championship matches is 30 days or get stripped of the title. They rarely bring this up anymore, which is confusing. So the fact that they went with this match, other than what was slated for presuming Fatal 4-Way with Andrade, Garza, Ray, and Humberto, which I would have really gotten more invested in that match than this. But then, again, who would you put the Profits against? Gallus and Anderson, no. Hawkins and Ryder, no. Vikings or faces. Probably AOP. So give it a legit build. Other than that, I would not have made this match. And I think it's just to get the Raw tag titles on the show, which, man. And I just did say I was chewing out 2 divisions, but I would say strip Andrade of the title, and then I would not have a Raw tag title match on the show.
Yeah, that's when I mentioned Alistair Black gonna be a top contender for the U.S. title, because like when Andrade comes back and then like Alistair Black say like, oh, I'm gonna be picking a fight with you for the U.S. title, and then when they defend the title, Alistair Black is gonna win it. So that's my humble prediction on that when Andrade comes back.
Same setup he had for the NXT title all those years ago.
Yeah.
And if you look at who his wife is, Alistair's, there's a certain Latina that's managing the current U.S. champion in his household. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said before, they had a storyline back at NXT, so it's a good way to build it up. So why not?
Okay, I can see that, and
Yeah. So
I see that happening.
yeah. So
Probably in July, with everything going on.
yeah, most likely, yeah. So moving forward, we have the women's tag team titles. We have this is basically a rematch from Hell in a Cell in October. So we have Nick, Asuka and Kairi Sane defending the titles against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So I see Alexa and Nikki Cross winning this match because because this has been like October since all that, and then Asuka and Kairi basically beat every women's tag team on Raw, but never going against any teams from SmackDown. So I see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross winning their titles.
So they went. So Asuka and Kairi went against the former Team Kick members, Dakota and Tegan, and then Charlotte and Becky. Have they fought anybody since Charlotte and Becky? No.
Yeah.
Partially due to the fact that in the tag title match against Charlotte and Becky, Kairi got a concussion and she was out for a while. And then to pick up the pieces, because Becky didn't have anybody going into the feud with Shayna, Asuka needed to be that proxy. And honestly, storyline-wise, that was a decent proxy because Becky has never, to that point, beaten Asuka. They just beat that horse like a drum going into the last 2 pay-per-views, even though the Elimination Chamber was kind of a squash.
Yeah.
So I'm going Alexa and Nikki because if you look at the division, it's the Iconics, the Kabuki Warriors, Shafir and Duke, Bailey and Sasha. Yeah, because Mandy and Sonya, do I see them as a tag team? But after how they pulled off last night, I would have said Mandy and Sonya would have been the ones to beat feuding with Nikki and Alexa. But after last night, I don't know who they're going to feud with because the Iconics have not been on TV since they lost the belts.
Yeah.
I don't even think they got a rematch from Alexa and Nikki.
Nah, they had a rematch since then because everybody was complaining about their about their title run ever since they won it at last year's WrestleMania.
My take on it was a fatal 4-way. Granted, them winning off a roll-up solidified how their careers were going, but the Iconics still have the chemistry, still got legit heel heat, and were decent as champions and could have built up a lot of people. And because of their history, the only brand they haven't competed on was Monday Night Raw. So you had a very nice narrative with them, very nice narrative with Sasha and Bailey that kind of went to the wayside. Very nice narrative with Alexa and Nikki. Outside of one tag title match with Team Kick, Tegan and Dakota, there has been nothing of note with the Kabuki Warriors outside of the match Kairi got a concussion in.
Yeah. So moving over to the final tag team title match, which is a ladder match for the SmackDown tag team titles. Now, originally this was supposed to be John Morrison and The Miz against the Usos and against Kofi Kingston and Big E of the New Day. So, but Miz was reportedly sick, and I can see this being a regular triple threat match with John Morrison defending the titles by himself, and then like having one of the Usos and one of the members from New Day to be in this match. And honestly, even the Miz was sick or not, I think him and John Morrison would retain the titles because I don't see them losing the titles anytime soon either.
My take on it is, yes, I have the dirt sheet winning of Miz and Morrison. However, it all depends on when Miz got sick and when they shot this match. Because nobody knows that because of how gorilla skin the crew was. That was on at Mania both days, the days of recording. Because I think they spent a good 4 or 5 days, and there were some overnight shoots to get everything ready for tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I do think they got the match in. However, Miz had to be in isolation for them to get that in. And even though Lashley, Graves, and Carmella, and that's what scares me, because Graves had to be there, I believe, every day on commentary for this, and he caught the coronavirus. So this is what scares me when it comes to anybody with WWE, because Corey Graves caught the coronavirus, and he's one of the main commentators right now, and Miz got sick. So I don't know how they did this match. And as far as depending on what they do once they come back, they get back, which would be not even Money in the Bank, it would be Extreme Rules time in July would be the next pay-per-view. Unless randomly WWE opts to do a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view because of like everything is supposed to be on the up and up, like late. Like stay-at-home orders are due out by late May, early June right now. So they could easily pull off the Saudi pay-per-view, even though there will be no Money in the Bank implications. But as of right now, and this is what I looked up on their website, on WWE.com, current tag teams in that division, the three that were mentioned, Miz and Morrison, New Day, and the Usos, the Revival, who are basically waiting their contracts out, Sammy, Cesaro, and Shinsuke, which I don't know at this point. B Team, the Lucha House Party, Heavy Machinery, Dolphin, Bobby. So who I think so I'm booking today and thinking about this weekend in regards to who after the pandemic is over, because WWE can't use the Performance Center. Like Orange County got shut down. So I'm thinking about this weekend and who can they build quickly into a title match or pay-per-view quality match card after the coronavirus with not much build. So with all that said, I do think either, I hate to say it, Miz and Morrison versus either probably a fatal four-way between these three same teams and Rude and Ziggler, because some way Heavy Machinery is going to hold that L, but Dirt Sheet wins tonight, and I'm sorry for talking in circles.
Yeah, that's basically my prediction. I see John Morrison and the Miz retaining the titles because they probably not may not lose the titles anytime soon. But yeah, so that's my prediction for that. But
anytime soon, there's not going to be any title matches probably after this next Friday.
Yeah. So moving forward, so we have the Intercontinental Championship match where it says Sami Zayn defending the title against Daniel Bryan. Now, all honesty, I could see a repeat from WrestleMania 31. Daniel Bryan wins the Intercontinental Championship. And let me explain why. Because we know Sami Zayn had his moment winning his first WWE title in the main roster for the Intercontinental title last month. But I don't see him holding the title for so long because of his shoulder problems, and then hiding behind Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Yeah, so he's basically like a manager at this point. So I see Daniel Bryan winning the title for the second time.
Yeah, I also have Daniel Bryan, but as you said, Sammy's on that injury prone list. And then also what I was looking up earlier, Sami Zayn has not had a singles match in over a year. And this was the second, the double shoulder surgery intact, as well as the move to SmackDown. The second he moved to SmackDown, after the Braun feud, he went straight into managerial roles because WWE thought the Samoa Joe treatment of being too injury prone, and then wellness policy.
Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I just see Daniel Bryan winning the title, nothing less. So yeah. So moving forward to the fatal five-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's title. So you have Bayley defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks. So I have two predictions for this one. So my main one is Sasha Banks winning the title and turn babyface afterwards. And if Sasha doesn't win, I had to go with Naomi. That's my second pick. But first I had to go with Sasha Banks because they're pushing Sasha Banks to turn babyface afterwards and then go on with rivalry with Bayley afterwards. So that's how I see that going. And like I said, if Sasha Banks doesn't win, my second choice will be Naomi.
Okay, so this is essentially, and I will get to my pick in a second, but the Chronicles of Sasha Banks and the last 5 years of her life. And do I think she'll walk out on the opposite side with the title? Yes. Because at the end of the day, you have to set up and start building toward Sasha and Bayley one-on-one at SummerSlam. You're not going to have that much time. You could easily have Sasha win the title, them two split up going into either Extreme Rules or Money in the Bank, whichever one they decide to do in July, and then have the breakup happen then, and then the one-on-one happen at SummerSlam. Enough said, because the only thing, thank goodness, I don't want to say thank goodness somebody got put in a quarantine, but Dana Brooke being in this match, originally slated, made it confusing to me on the booking and the thought process to get a compelling story rather than just like a paycheck. Because at least with the other four, you have Sasha's entire career flashing before her eyes. And Michael Cole brought it up on commentary last night. Unity! With Team Bad, which was her post NXT days. You got the Boston Hug connection with her main roster run. And then you have her biggest rival currently in Lacey Evans. It's set, and to be frank, Sasha's the only member of the Four Horsewomen of NXT that have not had their WrestleMania moment yet. Granted, that is injury written all over it, but yeah. And as I said, with the division, other than Bayley, who do I see Sasha going and feuding with once Co-Virus is taken over, is done with? Alexa, Bayley, Carmella, no. Ember, no. Yeah, it's either going to be Bayley, Lacey. Yeah, Bayley or Lacey, that's it. Because I see the other feuds like just writing themselves. Mandy and Sonya possibly going into SummerSlam. And then Ember was probably going to be back Monday or Friday because she's been out with an injury for the longest. And then Dana, I don't know. Carmella's not coming back for a long time because not only does she have it, and possibly reportedly the worst case, she also is living with somebody that has it as well. And of course, COVID. So, yeah. That's my thought on the SmackDown Women's Division. And Sasha going into SummerSlam.
Yeah. So moving on to the Firefly Funhouse match, Yowie Wowie. So we have John Cena going against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So I have my humble predictions for this match. So we don't know what a Firefly Funhouse match look like. It could be like a spin-off edition of the House of Horrors match, but we'll just have to see how that match goes. But the way I see this, I see the Fiend winning this match, but also we may see the Fiend Bray Wyatt have a new reincarnation of the Wyatt family. So we might see Bray Wyatt's brother Bo Dallas be a member to that new family. And also, we might finally see the debut of Sister Abigail. And who's going to be Sister Abigail, in my opinion? I think it's going to be Nia Jax, who is going to be Sister. Because everybody's saying it's going to be Liv Morgan. But now Liv Morgan's on Raw. That's not the case. So, and Nia Jax been out since last year WrestleMania. And she hasn't been drafted like to any brand since then. So my thing is that Nia Jax might be Sister Abigail. So yeah, the Fiend might have a new Wyatt family members, and then I see the Fiend going on to be either the new contender for the Universal Championship, or winning the Money in the Bank ladder match if they're gonna continue on with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view match in June. But that's how I see that going on with the Fiend after WrestleMania.
Okay, so this match is one of the two matches for so many reasons that scares me. And I'm not talking little kid boom. It's simply due to, has the Fiend won with Sister Abigail, not with the Mandible Claw since he's debuted.
Yeah, I think the Mandible Claw would be the Sister Abigail is more like a secondary finisher or like a signature, like they do it in 2K20. So the Mandible Claw will be his most famous is mandatory finisher right now.
In the current climate, and WWE is all about their sponsorships, you really think it's a good idea to win with the claw. That's why this match scares me, because if they do have somebody shoving their hand down another person's throat in this time period, it could easily just be a media firestorm that is not good. And then they have the producer of Impact's Match of the Decade and the Ultimate Deletion working for WWE. So I do see this ending up a similar match on that realm of matches in the Ultimate Final Deletion realm, because Jeremy Borash is working for WWE. And I'm going with the Fiend. However, I'm hoping for a Sister Abigail finish, and he does not go for the claw, but we'll see.
And what you think of my prediction of Sister Abigail debuting and possibly Bo Dallas joining the family?
Honestly, at this point, I could care. Like, Goldberg, just to get to Mania, and the match is a makeshift one that basically just came up in a graphic now because of COVID. And even before, without COVID, it was just thrown together. Like, his match was thrown together. So the same way I felt when Kofi lost the WWE title, I feel the same going into why the Fiend lost it. And his credibility is on the line in this match. because it got forced to a cliff, and now Cena could easily knock it off. And I don't know which business route they can go, because when they pick up everything after the coronavirus, when the media industry picks up after the coronavirus, Cena has films and productions that will set up and probably just start as soon as they can. So Cena's not going to be available. And do you give the Fiend the W? Because they've had to change so many gimmicks already due to the Fiend, turning Seth heel, shaving Daniel Bryan, and if you're putting him in the Universal title picture, what it would have either killed it's going to kill Braun, Goldberg, or Roman and their credibility in that picture with Bray. I do agree with Dave Meltzer when he said the credibility of everybody has gone down to meet this gimmick. But I do think Hart wants Bray, mine thinks Cena, but I'm going The Fiend just because it is his match. And the last time they did one of these matches in WWE, granted a screwy finish because they were trying to hype up Jinder versus Orton, it went to Bray.
Yeah, because this is most definitely a must-win situation for Bray Wyatt, because this is basically a rematch from WrestleMania 30, and we have Bray talking on, oh, John Cena is the reason why the Fiend is created. So, and Bray Wyatt itself, whether it was Bray Wyatt or the Fiend or not, he needs a WrestleMania moment because he has not won a match at WrestleMania. So that's why we both agreed that Bray Wyatt will win this match.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moving forward to the Boneyard match, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. So will we see a alternate Deadman / American Badass version of The Undertaker in this match against AJ Styles, or we just see like the regular Deadman just going forward into it? But other than that, I see The Undertaker winning this match against AJ Styles because, all honesty, because this is a Boneyard match. This is basically like, if you see like back in the day with the Boiler Room Bar when The Undertaker faced Mankind. So this is basically somewhere off location setting, like in the graveyard, like somewhere. So they haven't they explained the rules. Like, this is basically a street fight. The referee's gonna be there and like all the other stuff. So yeah, I see The Undertaker winning this match.
I've got AJ, and granted, I'm a bit nervous because I've seen botched Styles clashes before. AJ has admitted there have been some major botches, and that's why for a time that move was banned. And this entire feud has come down to Michelle, the Faith Breaker, in the Styles Clash. And at least that's how the promos have been written between Mark and Alan. Yes, I went with their government names, but promos, yeah, that's where they've went. And with Taker and AJ and the OC not being booked at Mania at all, whoo, it's going AJ. Street Fight Rules Graveyard. Yeah, I think there's going to be some supernatural and post-production editing done to elevate it, but it's still going to be AJ at the end of the day, because AJ, to be that nice upper mid-card close to main event heel, needs to win this match. And will we see Taker after this? No, I don't think so, because you lose something in your house, and then he's 53, 54. I don't see him coming back from this, and also they have to protect his health as well. Roman did the right thing by not partaking in the show. Taker and Goldberg are both in their 50s, and you have people running around with the coronavirus in the company. I don't think that's smart to have him be even slated for the summer at all. Saudi Arabia or no Saudi Arabia.
But they are pitting for the Undertaker to be at Survivor Series this year, because this is going to be his 30th anniversary at Survivor Series.
Which I think should be his retirement. I do think with everything, the surgeries, the age, and just the amount of time, have him go out the same way you wanted Kurt to go out. Kurt was fitting because WrestleMania has been his highlight package. Granted, he debuted at Survivor Series, but Taker's been synonymous for only 2 nights of the year. Survivor Series and Mania. We lost, with all this stuff that's been going on since WrestleMania 32, we lost that. Which Mania did he fight Shayna at?
At WrestleMania 32.
32?
Yeah.
And then Roman was 33, right?
Yes.
So 34. So 2 years ago. So everything from that moment on, after Roman, and I was hanging out with Trico when we watched this retirement. So, and AJ brought this up too. Everything after that retirement has watered down that moment, and that was so like iconic and telling. And that was, granted, if they would have turned him heel, it would have been an instant star-making moment and a great way to send Taker off. And you could have had him do these one-off matches, but it would not have watered down his legacy. And the 2 pay-per-views that should have happened would have been Mania and Survivor Series, not random Saudi shows with a bunch of 50-year-olds giving brainbusters.
Yeah. So other than that, moving forward.
So I think that was the first match I think we've disagreed on too.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So moving forward to the last man standing match is Edge.
Can we talk on this one last though? Because I think my predictions for the rest of the night will kind of help elevate my reasoning behind it, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, moving forward to that, the last man standing match with Edge versus Randy Orton. Now, this is Edge's first singles match in 9 years, and his first WrestleMania in 9 years as well. So, yeah, I think this match had a great build-up than the other WrestleMania card. And other than that, I see Edge winning this match because the way he came back at the Royal Rumble, this is more like like the Daniel Bryan story, like you've been injured and retired for so long, and then like after a few the rehabs and the training and all that stuff. So I see Edge winning this match, and moving forward might be a contender to the WWE title, or if they do the draft, if they do the draft like in between there, if he moves to SmackDown, then be a contender to the Universal Championship. So that's the path I see Edge like after winning this match after Mania. So I hear that you are going for Randy Orton. So why is that?
Okay, so there's so many reasons and why I wanted to touch on this last as well, because I'm going to give a couple spoilers going into the rest of this predictions right now. So, Raw needs heels. Raw needs main event level heels right now. AJ, I see feuding with Andrade, the winner between Andrade and Alistair. I see Seth is getting ready to go off finalize the wedding, plan the wedding, and then go on his honeymoon with Becky. Raw needs main event heels. And how to solidify, as JBL put it, a great main event heel that you can invest in other than somebody beating Edge in his, and that they botched Daniel Bryan's first L when he returned to make a star. But to make a main event level heel, have Orton go over. And I don't say give him another concussion, that's just stupid. But I say have Orton go over and then go into a feud with the obvious for the title. And I'm thinking all this without little to no build going into Money in the Bank and or SummerSlam. Because by government reports, it's either sometime in June or sometime in July. Whichever they opt to do in July, either rehash Money in the Bank or go Extreme Rules, or 86 both those shows and go straight into SummerSlam. Now, the Money in the Bank match at SummerSlam, you still need a world title match last minute that you can easily invest in. Whether that be by story that I built over the last few weeks, something they can hype up on Twitter, or something that the fans can get invested with the people that are involved instantly. I think Randy versus either Brock or Drew, go figure, I can get invested in. I can't get invested in any other mid-card heel, even AJ, because I've already seen both those matches done to nauseum. AJ fighting either Brock or Drew. And that's the only other major heel that I see on the main roster, at least on Raw.
Yeah, so I agree with. I can understand your point from there. So it only depends on how they can go forward. Like after this match, I don't know how. Yeah, if Randy wins, I don't know how they're gonna go forward. If he does win this match, then he probably will be contender for the WWE title as well. But we're just gonna have to see how that match ends and how it's gonna go forward. So other than that, moving forward to the Raw Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch against Shayna Baszler. So right off the bat, I see Shayna Baszler winning this match because Becky Lynch, ever since winning both titles at last year's WrestleMania, she had a good year run as champion. I think with her days, she's probably the longest women's champion ever. I think who holds it?
Since they did this iteration of the title.
Yeah. And
she is the longest reigning since they did this iteration of the Raw and SmackDown women's titles.
Yeah. So Becky really has nothing left to prove at this point. So dropping the title to Shayna Baszler would not hurt her character either way. It would not hurt her at all. So I see her losing the title and taking a break with Seth Rollins as well, like you mentioned, planning the wedding and everything else. Now, as far as how this match will go, I think we'll see either Ronda Rousey or the other two members of the UFC 4 Horsewomen interfering in this match. And that's if they're going to show up, if they're going to be there. So yeah, I see that happening, and Shayna Baszler off the bat winning the title. So there's been a lot of rumors of that Ronda Rousey
photo.
Yeah, was backstage. It gave me the wondering: is he gonna show up to help Shayna Baszler winning the title, and then afterwards, is she gonna go in the feud against Shayna Baszler? Because once Shayna Baszler wins, she needs someone to go in a feud with like after this match. And all honesty, I see Ronda Rousey as the best pick to go in a feud with because all honesty with the women's the roster, nah. And after that Elimination Chamber match, no, Shayna Baszler will basically destroy him. Hell no, like come on. So what is your take on that?
I completely agree with Shayna winning. Honestly, I was laughing the second you said the Elimination Chamber because Asuka, and yeah, Asuka's the only credible threat to Shayna, other than Asuka's the only credible threat. Natty's the only one you can build a media level story on. However, that media level story would involve Ronda. Now, is she medically cleared to even do anything physical after almost losing a finger? That's the big question. She could have just been in there, like, re-signing contracts. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think Shayna, and then either rematch with Becky, feuding with Asuka, feuding with Natty, and that's or Charlotte, because Charlotte's still slated on the Raw roster. So unless it's, and this is the sad thing about the entire women's division.
I'll get the Charlotte situation once we talk about the next match. But
Continue. I've got a lot to think on that one, but as of what I've seen on WWE.com, she is still slated on the Raw roster. So I'm including her on this one for the time being. But unless you are a member of a 4-horsewomen stable or have a credible track record under Triple H, which only Becky, Asuka, Shayna, Natty, and Charlotte. Kyrie is 1 foot out the door. That's why the Kabuki Warriors are going to get ready to drop it. But, like I said, Becky, Asuka, Shayna, Natty, and Charlotte. That's the Raw division. Everybody else is just background and feeding it. Because you have 2 managers and the Riot Squad. And that's it.
Yeah, and I also seen this match being the main event for tonight, being the headliner for night one. If the Universal title match doesn't be the main event for tonight, I see the Raw Women's Championship match being the main event for night one.
Which is sad to me, not because of the women, it's because of something else you said with the Universal title headlining. That match got thrown together so fast.
Yeah.
And there was no storyline. Okay, we'll explain that later. But yeah. I don't even think that match should probably take the same spot that Edge and Del Rio took on Edge's last match with the company. And that's.
Yeah. So, yeah, moving forward to the NXT women's title match, Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair. Now, right out the bat, like, I don't see Rhea Ripley losing the title anytime soon either. Like, this match was a great build-up as well because when Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble, I still honestly want Shayna to win because that would have been a better build-up to the Raw women's title match. But Charlotte Flair won, and she needed something to go in our illustrious highlight wins of her career. So kudos to Charlotte for that one. But now, when it comes to like her in the build of this match, like, oh, I already beat Becky, I already beat Bayley, so who can I choose? But Rhea Ripley stepped up and said like, oh, you don't have to choose them, you could choose me, because after starting September and all the way up to the Survivor Series, NXT proved that they also can be the major brand in the brand division. So
even though AEW's been spanking them,
yeah. So
in the ratings,
yeah. even on that, but we said yeah, you could choose me, yeah, because you ain't never beaten me, and this is your chance to like to beat me. And then like you could hear like everyone in the crowd when Rhea Ripley came out, say like everyone was going yes, 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 because that's a better match for them to see. And then as you know, Charlotte Flair came out and take over Portland and say, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." So yeah, this is a better. I think this is going to be a great women's title match, same as the Raw women's title match. But other than that, I see a Rhea Ripley retaining the title and then going on to feud whoever wins the ladder match in NXT. But and then for Charlotte Flair, I think I might see her turning a baby face if she stays on Raw and feud with Shayna Baszler. That's all it depends on if they continue doing the draft. But if that's if SmackDown doesn't get her. But if she stays on Raw, I see her turning babyface and then going on the feud with Shayna Baszler.
Okay, so you brought up the NXT title, women's title ladder match, number one contendership, that would have been slated for tonight if certain viruses were not a thing in the States, but they are.
Yeah, so we basically that triple threat match with the NXT North American Championship, that is basically a takeover match. That was basically a takeover.
Yeah, that was a takeover match, and that reset that division. So when NXT picks up again, we don't know whether that's going to be at Full Sail, our old alumni, or the Performance Center for the time being. But when that picks up, we don't know who's taking that one. There's a couple possibilities for either GYV or that Malcolm Bivens tag team for who's getting the Broserweights. And then the winner of Cole Gargano Ciampa Gargano obviously is going to be the one for Cole. Triple H just didn't say that. That's the number one contendership for Adam Cole. But as far as Rhea and Charlotte goes, and this is why I'm bringing up the NXT title divisions, we have slated for this Wednesday Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Chelsea Green. Who has Rhea been feuding with out of those six that you do not need a build? Has had either a mini feud or something you could build off of to set up an NXT women's title match after the coronavirus, and you don't need that much of a build? The answer, Dakota Kai. Reason being, the fact she went ultra combo Tegan Nox while and destroyed Rhea Ripley's trust in Dakota Kai. And then what did Rhea do? Basically sick a angry Blasian baddie on Dakota Kai. So you have something to build off of going into the post-coronavirus NXT with Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley.
I would have to agree with you on that. So I can basically see that moving forward after that. So I basically agree with you on that. But when you mentioned the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa situation, but for the whoever win that match might face Adam Cole. But you got to remember, Adam Cole is in a feud with Velveteen Dream.
Okay, I did forget about that for one reason. That feud is so weird because Adam Cole's essentially like denounced Velveteen and using UE as stepping stones to get to him. So that feud only works if you have the gradual build, or in this case, somewhat of a rapid build to get to him. He knocked off Roddy using Marina, which that was still odd. That was the call out. Now you sick him on what formerly known as the injury-prone Red Dragon and Fish and O'Reilly. He knocks those two off in some random handicap match. then you get Adam Cole. But without any time to build it, that's the thing. How much time are they going to have to build to the next championship matches? That's the thing that I'm thinking about through all these WrestleMania, all these NXT, all these AEW predictions, is how much time post-coronavirus are they going to have time to build to these matches? Or are they just going to be makeshift thrown together like Braun and Goldberg?
Yeah. Other than that, let's move forward to the Universal Championship match, which is Goldberg defending the title against Braun Strowman. So, how many times has Braun Strowman got a Universal Championship match and has not won it? So, right off the bat, I see Goldberg retaining the title and then keeping it until maybe SummerSlam. That's if he faces The Fiend or Roman Reigns. That's how I see this going.
My thing, remember when I was saying that there were matches that scare me on this card, right?
Yeah.
Not because of any of the viruses. This was the other one. Because how much Taker is like 300 solid. Bray's like 280, 275, 285. Braun's almost 400. So you think of the Taker feud. He literally almost gave him a brainbuster. When Goldberg landed off that jackhammer on Bray, he almost crushed his face with his frame. Braun weighs more than both of them. And you're going to tell me Goldberg's going for a vertical suplex on Braun Strowman. I'm scared for that.
Not unless he do an actual jackhammer like he did the Giant back in WCW days.
That's the thing. He's 53. He's in his 50s. And we've seen him struggle after his usual, like, amped up antics. So I don't see Goldberg being able to lift Braun with ease. And honestly, do you see Goldberg competing every pay-per-view? No. So
no,
I'm going.
Pay-per-view, just like all the major pay-per-views, like Money in the Bank.
There's a big six. I don't even see him competing at Money in the Bank or Extreme Rules. So I'm saying Braun finally gets the W. Yes, I have Goldberg in my predictions bracket, but thinking about all this,
you really think Braun Strowman can finally win the title this time?
I feel like.
Yeah. You really think so?
Because Braun can put on a good match and will be around post coronavirus fully for a full program.
Yeah.
Going into a marquee match, Goldberg, Cena, Taker, and others won't be around for a full program. No. So I'm going Braun on this by the slimmest of margins. And that's all depending on how they set up either jackhammer or power slam. And it scares me because of how Braun and Goldberg are going to end up in that power slam and in that jackhammer power slam. And hopefully they tell him, do not bash your head against a door.
Yeah. So other than that, moving forward to the last match on the card, and this one will definitely headline night 2, main event of night 2, which is Brock Lesnar against Drew McIntyre. So right out
now, are we sure this is main event night 2? I mean, it should, but are we sure? Granted, Brock's in it, but it was either Goldberg, and Becky were the two slated matches to headline. Drew was in it, and then he fell out. So are we sure this is headlining either today or tomorrow?
I see this definitely main eventing night 2. All honestly, I can see that. So, and I see Becky and Shayna Baszler headlining main eventing tonight for night 1.
Okay.
So yeah, right out the back, I see Drew McIntyre getting his WrestleMania moment and winning the WWE Championship for the first time, because we saw how last year when they built up Kofi Kingston, never have a one-on-one WWE Championship match, and look how he won it. He won it, and that's how I see they're gonna do for Drew McIntyre.
I completely agree, and I've also got Drew winning. First Scottish-born WWE champion, the last member of
The 3OB.
3MB to have their breakout moment. Heath had his with Rhino and becoming the first one half of the first ever SmackDown Tag Champions when they brought the nickel belts to SmackDown. And Jinder had the biggest, I would say, swerve, even though it was basically a propaganda stunt in SmackDown history when he beat Randy. And then now Drew needs his, and he's been back and just been dominant since breaking away from Shane and off. So I do see, and this run he's been on, I feel bad that he has to win his first world title in there. And you can easily build a match between Drew and Randy. We've seen Brock and Randy. I want to see Drew and Randy so bad right now. And I can get behind that easily. And Drew's very marketable. And to all those independent wrestling fans, I'm one too, so I'm not knocking anybody. But you have somebody that they support, not somebody that a lot of indie wrestling fans and fans in general utterly hate, just because one, he only shows up for the big money paychecks, and two, is known not to be able to work with anybody. Drew can easily work with somebody and put them over. And then Randy, I think, is the one to pass the torch on. So we might be seeing a Randy Orton retirement tour. We don't know. But if it happens, I do think this will be that marquee feud to put Drew McIntyre over as world champion at the end of it.
Yes, but I've been hearing another rumor saying that that Paul Heyman may turn against Lesnar. Another rumor saying that that Shane may come and interfere and then help Drew McIntyre win, and then afterwards being his manager again, after Mania. But I don't know if that rumor's gonna be true, but I just see Drew McIntyre, his own man, doesn't need a manager to back him up and all that other stuff. So I don't know if those rumors it's gonna be true. I don't see that happening.
So you see Drew turn against with this entire really 4-month face run that he's had that has been a top baby face in the company.
Yeah.
And realign with either Shane or align himself with Heyman.
Yeah, I think I think there was another wrestling podcast saying that those rumors, but I don't see that really happening.
You might have heard that on the Wrestling Observer. I think it's just that. Okay. I'm not even going to say that's true or just that's crazy. It may have been I thought because Heyman's been that high on Drew. But that just means so stupid. Even as a face, I'm going to go back to this division that I wrote out anybody that could easily be a main eventer. Yeah. Who as the heel? I mean, who as a baby face could heel Drew go against? KO. That's it. could have healed Drew against KO, and that's basically it, depending on what they do with the U.S. title. Because if they put it on Alistair, you're going to have Drew versus KO, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Drew and KO because we've seen that already. Like, if you're wanting to refresh and reset rosters, and that's another thing, because of the coronavirus and everything, we don't know when the draft's going to be. Could it easily be something that doesn't pop up? Or if all these rosters are virtually locked in for the foreseeable future, which they might be locked until well into the fall.
Yeah.
Woo!
But
Man.
But yeah, other than that, folks, that's our prediction for the WrestleMania 36 card. We are looking forward to see like which match is going to be taking places for night 1 and night 2. I mean, these are our 16 matches in total, and it's going to be split into 8 one night and 8 another night. So yeah, other than that, that's our predictions. What are your guys' predictions on the WrestleMania card and how you see this going forward? Comment down below in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any more uploads. And DONAZE, thank you for giving the time to give your predictions, and we cannot
Thanks again, man.
Yeah.
I need some water after all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we just can't wait to see what's gonna happen after WrestleMania and then moving forward. But yeah, other than that, he's DONAZE and I'm Trico, and we're signing off. Peace.
All right, night. Peace.